China would own our country if Joe Biden got elected.
I've spent more time with President Xi of China than any world leader has. He firmly believes that China, before the year 3035, is going to own America.
Major economies should see the world as one community. Think in a more systematic way, increase policy transparency and information sharing, and coordinate the objectives, intensity, and pace of fiscal and monetary policies, so as to prevent the world economy from plummeting again. Major developed countries should adopt responsible economic policies, manage policy spillovers, and avoid severe impacts on developing countries. The global low-inflation environment has notably changed, and the risks of inflation driven by multiple factors are surfacing. If major economies slam on the brakes or take a U-turn in their monetary policies, there would be serious negative spillovers. They would present challenges to global economic and financial stability, and developing countries would bear the brunt of it. The fundamentals of the Chinese economy, characterized by strong resilience, enormous potential, and long-term sustainability, remain unchanged. We have every confidence in the future of China's economy.
Inflation is made in Washington because only Washington can create money.
COVID-19 has created a lot of economic complications, including rapid price increases across the world economy. People see it at the gas pumps, the grocery stores, and elsewhere. So, here's what we're going to do. A critical job in making sure that the elevated prices don't become entrenched rests with the Federal Reserve, which has a dual mandate: full employment and stable prices. The Federal Reserve provided extraordinary support during the crisis for the previous year and a half. Given the strength of our economy and the pace of recent price increases, it's appropriate, as the Federal Chairman Powell, the Fed Chairman Powell, has indicated, to recalibrate the support that is now necessary. I respect the Fed's
Simple reason. They do not own a printing press on which you can turn out green pieces of paper. Inflation is made in Washington because only Washington can create money. And any other attribution to other groups of inflation is
economy. As you said earlier, Americans are feeling the squeeze of inflation. Oil prices have been at about a 7-year high recently. How long should Americans expect to face higher prices when they're at the grocery store, when they're at the gas pump? Is this something that they're going to see into the summer, into next fall? And separately, you talk about the importance of the Fed, but isn't that an acknowledgement that you're limited in what you can do? If you're relying on the Fed to make decisions and you're unable to get a Build Back Better proposal through, aren't you simply limited in what you can do to deal with inflation?
Well, look, as you know, Ken, the inflation has everything to do with the supply chain.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And the New World Order has set up the Hegelian dialectic perfectly. We see Biden losing his ratings, and we see Trump is rising in the background to save America. And that is definitely the slogan. And talking about Shemitah, remember the actual slogan for Biden is to build back better. And those who saw the Shemitah video, especially my Patreon, understand. But guys, we know inflation is eating away at the dollar. And who causes inflation? That's right, the Fed. And who gives them the permission to print all this money? That's right, Congress. The politicians, the sellouts, the puppets. Remember, the New World Order works on problem, reaction, solution. They created the problem, printed all this money, put all these people out of work, and now they're going to wait for the reaction. But we know what the solution is. Robots, algorithms, and drones. But first, they must blow up this economy. They have to roll off the balance sheet, raise interest rates, and like Xi said, the president of China, The global economy is about to collapse. The fall of Babylon. But we're going to see the rise of the dragon because China is going to be doing great with that digital Yuan backed by that digital SDR. And do not forget the Crypto Teacher wrote about it a long time ago. Do not forget to get that New World Order book in your friends and family because it's definitely about to go down. Because we see the Russia war, the Russia movie is priming up. And guys, anytime America is broke, who causes the wars? The banks. And the banks are what? The biggest drug dealing, money laundering, gun running son of a guns. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
We've had very frank discussions, Vladimir Putin and I. And the idea that NATO is not going to be united, I don't buy. I've spoken to every major NATO leader. We've had the NATO-Russian summit. We've had the OSCE has met, et cetera. And so I think what you're going to see is that Russia will be held accountable if it invades. And it depends on what it does. It's one thing if it's a minor incursion and then we end up having a fight about what to do and not do, et cetera. But if they actually do what they're capable of doing with the force amassed on the border, it is going to be a disaster for Russia if they further invade Ukraine, and that our allies and partners are ready to impose severe cost and significant harm on Russia and the Russian economy. I think he still does not want any full-blown war, number one. Number two, do I think he'll test the West, test the United States and NATO as significantly as he can? Yes, I think he will. But I think he'll pay a serious and dear price for it that he doesn't think now will cost him what it's going to cost him. And I think he'll regret having done it. David, I'm not so sure he is certain what he's going to do. My guess is he will move in. He has to do something. And by the way, I've indicated to him the two things he said to me that he wants guarantees on. One is Ukraine will never be part of NATO. And two, that NATO there will not be strategic weapons stationed in Ukraine. Well, we can work out something on the second piece, pretending what he does along the Russian line as well, the Russian border in the European area of Russia. On the first piece, we have a number of treaties internationally and in Europe that suggest that you get to choose who you want to be with. But the likelihood that Ukraine is going to join NATO in the near term is not very likely. So there's room to work if he wants to do that. But I think, as usual, he's going to, well, I probably shouldn't go any further, but I think it will hurt him badly. Nobody else is going to make that decision. No one else is going to impact that decision. He's making that decision. And I suspect it matters which side of the bed he gets up on in the morning as to exactly what he's going to do. And I believe he's calculating what the immediate, the short term, and the near term, and the long-term consequences of Russia will be. And I don't think he's made up his mind yet.
Make America great again. We had already done it, and now we're going to have to do it again.
That I think central bank digital currencies were concocted in hell by Satan himself. They are incredible control by governments over everybody's bank account, and they're going to create a void of privacy for every individual citizen. I think they're horrible, but I think that's where they want to go.
Uber, Bitcoin, self-driving cars. Combine those three together, and you have the self-owning taxi. A car that is a corporation that owns itself, pays for the car lease, the car insurance, and the gasoline from the revenues it makes, giving passengers a ride, and there's not a single human involved in that matter.
Well, let me introduce you to Survey. Now, check this out. She is a robot that has been helping here, the folks at Rachel's Kitchen, for the last couple of weeks. And let me tell you, she is amazing. She's helping out, serving customers, taking their food, and she even talks. So as you can imagine, she has been a great asset here to the team, a big relief for this business as they really try to keep up with demand.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.